The next question that comes with all of this is Russell Wilson. And what happens when Russell Wilson is healthy? Because Mike Tomlin is trying to convince us that Russell Wilson is not healthy enough to go, although Russell Wilson has preached to the choir, and there were all these reports saying that he was pushing the Steelers to go and he wanted to play and so on and so forth. Mike Tomlin says it's not 100%. We're not feeling good enough about it yet. Then he was asked, well, is Russ the starter when he is healthy? And, well, his answer wasn't necessarily yes, but it also wasn't necessarily no. What do you have to say?
Yeah, he definitely knew he was going to be asked this because he had plenty to say on this topic. Quote, again, I'm not going to soothe you with hypothetical scenarios. It is my general practice to not. You guys that know me know that I don't. So why start today because it's the quarterback position or because it's a national story? I am unmoved by some of those narratives, to be quite honest with you. We've got an approach to business. I always stand in front of you guys when people are somewhat limited. I say we'll push through the work week and let their participation be our guide in terms of whether to include them and then the quality of that participation. This scenario is no different for me, respectfully. I understand that you have to ask that question, but it doesn't mean that we need to change our position or do things that are abnormal in an effort to answer it. We're just simply going to proceed with what we normally do. Our energies and attention are on those that are available and are scheduled to play. They are deserving of that. When those that are not healthy, we'll ponder that at that time.
Oh, man. So Mike Tomlin took a question saying, hey, when Russ comes back, when Russ is healthy, is he the starting quarterback? And said, okay, how long can I talk?
Yeah.
And how much can I make this about, well, we don't know if Russ is healthy, so we're not going to make those decisions right now for as long as humanly possible. And, well, he did a good job. And that's Mike Tomlin. And just kind of dissecting Mike Tomlin, because that's my job. And to be honest with you, I've been doing it long enough that I feel I got a pretty good grip on Mike Tomlin, on what Mike Tomlin says compared to what Mike Tomlin really means. And what I gathered from this one is very simple. Very simple. The Pittsburgh Steelers are exactly where the rest of us are. Mike Tomlin is exactly where me, you, and probably 90% of these listeners, 90% of the Steelers fan base is currently. And that is, we want to see Justin Fields in week 2, but we have no idea if Justin Fields is going to be good in week 2. And you could hope that Justin Fields is going to be good in week 2, but you have no idea. And then week 3 could come along, and Justin Fields could look just as good in week 2 as he did in week 1, and maybe you want to see it in week 3. Maybe you're ready to see it in week 3, but you have no idea if he's going to be good in week 3. So why would you say that when Russ comes back, Russ is the starter, this is his job, I will create havoc amongst this fan base and amongst the NFL right now, when truthfully, we have no idea what this situation is turning into, because we are one game in, and that one game looked promising enough to give it another game, but certainly didn't look promising enough to give it 2 more games. Certainly didn't look promising enough to say this is what we are going to do moving forward. And the Steelers are going to take this one game at a time. Russell Wilson will not be deemed healthy until Russell Wilson is either one, just so healthy you can't hide it anymore. There is no more calf injury. It is suddenly, it's gone. He is 100%. He has made it very clear he's 100% healthy, and the Pittsburgh Steelers just can't come up with that narrative anymore. And at that point, if Justin Fields is the starter, they will name Justin Fields the starter. That's not going to happen for a couple weeks. What's up, guys? It's football season, and we've teamed up with DraftKings. Right now, new customers who bet $5 will receive $250 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, you'll receive 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. It's hard to think of a better way to celebrate fall weather, your favorite jersey, and Sunday touchdowns than with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings app and use our promo code ALLSteelers. That's $250 in bonus bets instantly and 1 month of NFL Plus Premium after betting just $5. Stay in the action and use your $250 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings. DraftKings is the place to bet touchdowns. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You could still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code ALLSTEELERS and bet just $5 on any wager and get $250 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code ALLSTEELERS only at DraftKings Sportsbook. 2, Russell Wilson is healthy when the Pittsburgh Steelers realize Justin Fields just ain't it. And they don't want to roll with Justin Fields anymore. And this is now Russ, and he's good enough to play. But until either one of those situations happen, this is a week-by-week basis where Mike Tomlin will come in here every single week and every single week try to limit or narrow the window to make sure that this is simply this Sunday. And that is all we could talk about is this Sunday, because he doesn't want to talk about next week. Because, yeah, maybe Russ is the starter in 2 weeks. Maybe Russ is the starter in 4 weeks. But there's just as likely of a possibility that Russ is not the starter in 2 weeks and not the starter in 3 weeks. And to be honest, Mike Tomlin has no idea, because he's taking it one day at a time, just like we are. And he's going to see what happens on Sunday against Denver. And then he's going to go back home and, well, you'll play Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers, and you'll see what happens there. So in my eyes, this is Mike Tomlin being directly in line with all of us, which is awesome. How rare is Mike Tomlin in line with any of us? Almost never. We are almost always sitting here talking about, well, this is how we would handle it, but this is how Mike Tomlin's going to handle it. The stars have aligned. We are all one right here. And Mike Tomlin, he's got the same outlook on this situation as the rest of us. At least that's how I took him in that comment.
Yeah, it was a long filibuster to essentially say, yes, I'm not answering your question. Like that's what it was. It was, I'm going to say everything to not answer this question because honestly, and I agree with your assessment here. He doesn't know the answer to that question because I said it going into the season. Man, I'd like to see Justin Fields more. I'd like to see him get opportunities, but also I'm excited to see Russell Wilson get opportunities because he didn't really get any in the preseason. What does that look like against ones in a full capacity in a full work week? I don't know. I'm excited to see it because both things are unknown to the Steelers. We're 1 week in and both things are still unknown to the Steelers. Yes, you have a little bit more of a sample size. Yes, you have a little bit of work on tape with Justin Fields. But I think the way that they won that game, 6 field goals, is not enough for you to say unequivocally, yeah, this is our guy. He's riding the hot hand. It was a good game by Justin Fields. I liked what I saw. I want to see more, but I wouldn't necessarily call him the hot hand. I would just call him the better option if it works out. If both quarterbacks work out, the better option would be Justin Fields because he's younger and you can carry that into the future. So the fact that it right now is Russell Wilson still dealing with the calf injury, at least reportedly so, I think it is pretty clear and obvious that the Steelers just want more answers and they don't want to give you a definitive one before they're able to get more information.
Yes. And if this was the other way around, if Russ was the guy that was stepping in for Justin Fields and he was supposed to be the backup, we wouldn't be having this conversation because Mike Tomlin would say, just like he did last year, but Kenny, when Justin's healthy, he's going to be the guy because Justin's 25 years old and he's the future of this team. And we would like to get him as involved as humanly possible. But Russ is 35, and he's losing to a guy who was the 11th pick in the draft, maybe the 9th pick in the draft,
11th.
Somewhere along those lines, and has shown that he's got a ton of potential and is now not messing up, which is all you're asking for at the beginning of this. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are thinking, okay, what could we do here? What's the ceiling look like? And again, if it was the other way around, it just wouldn't happen. It's a Justin Fields week. I have almost a 100% confidence level Justin Fields will start against the Denver Broncos, which stinks for Russell Wilson, man. He deserves that comeback. He deserves that revenge game. And I bet you he would have won. I bet you he would have beat the Denver Broncos because they looked terrible on Sunday. And the Steelers did not. So Bo Nix is in for a beating, and Russell Wilson probably would have won that game. But it's going to be Justin Fields.